I have a question for you guys. My question is, are you a builder or are you a destroyer? Anyone that destroys property or people with their words, with their actions, violence, are you a builder or are you a destroyer? The Bible says you'll know them by their fruit. It's a good way to see where you belong. Who do you belong to? The devil is the destroyer. He came to steal, kill, and destroy. He usually puts image, reputation, maybe mockery or a joke disguised within his plan. Notice that there's a lot of people doing destruction all in the name of a joke because they're quote unquote being funny. Oh, it's just a joke, they say. But the action behind the joke, it's not too funny. They're hurting people. They're hurting property. They're destroying. So, different pranks take on different meanings, but the situation is the same in terms of the human being. Like, are you a builder or are you a destroyer? You'll know them by their fruit. And so if you're a builder, you represent the light, positivity, goodness, mercy, grace, love, forgiveness. You help people up when they fall. You edify them when they doubt themselves. You come and you don't exploit their doubts, but you edify them and you say, no, it's going to be okay. You're building them up. There's builders that make a person that's going in the wrong way in life, like a teenager, young adult, smoking, drinking. A builder will come and say, hey, are you really happy? Like on the inside, are you really satisfied with the way your life is going? When you look around and you see your other friends that are graduating from high school, does that hurt you that you're not graduating? When you see other ones that are getting their careers together and you're still smoking and drinking, and does that affect you on the inside? If they're honest with themselves, they'll say yes. Because everybody wants to be successful and everybody wants to climb the ladder of life and be a champion. And so there's things that destroy. Drugs and alcohol destroy. They're the devil's tactics and the devil's tools and that he uses. Just like there's shovels, pickaxes, all different types of tools to perform a job, the devil uses tools as well. He'll use the tongue of a human being to destroy another human being. The Bible talks about the tongue not being able to being tamed. The tongue can set fires, metaphorical fires in terms of like destruction. If you think about it, how many wars have started? How many things have started because ego and pride and the tongue and your image and reputation are all on the line, and somebody said something and it popped off. When I was growing up, your mama, those two words, your mama, that would start a fight. They didn't even have to go on with the joke or whatever they were saying. Just your mama was enough of an insult to get you to get punched. Words can build, edify. It could help somebody to smile. It can make somebody discouraged, second guess themselves, and it could even get somebody to commit suicide. You see that happen too often, especially on the internet, where people are so self-conscious about their image, and you get those people that are cyber bullies, and they're speaking all kinds of they're being used by the devil. They're basically telling them, oh, you're ugly, or you're too fat, or you're too skinny, or you're this, or you're that, as if your image In the end of the day, like, a lot of people didn't have a choice in what they were born into. You know what I mean? Like, you're born, you're created. So if you were born white, you were born black, you were born this, you were born that, it didn't, like, you didn't have a choice in the matter, right? So you see how the devil tweaks and thwarts stuff that you have no control over. He'll try to make you feel ashamed about it, especially now with the whole race wars and all that kind of stuff. That's why I bring that up. So you have to look at who's creating division. Who's the one propelling all of that propaganda to get other people to be against other people? Once you figure out who's the one pushing it out there, you have the enemy. You found the enemy. Because anybody that divides, the Bible says that a house divided against itself cannot stand. So the United States right now is divided against itself. It will not stand. For some people, that's the goal. That's why they burn the American flag. It's why they hate it. Yet they live here. It's an oxymoron. It's a head scratcher. They benefit. They have all the luxuries, but they hate the country. I for one can't figure that out. What are you gonna do? But this video is about, are you a builder or are you a destroyer? See, a builder looks for problems, for destruction. Looks around, sees a poor person over there driving a shopping cart full of stuff, and a builder says to himself or herself, I have money in my pocket. And that person looks like they could use it. Hey, how you doing, sir? How you feeling? And it's not so much about giving them your money. It's about being a human being and seeing how they're doing. Getting on their level, being humble about it. Humility, humbleness, right? It's like, have you ever had a bad day? Have you ever been in the pit? Have you ever been overlooked? Have you ever had people look down on you? Have you ever, needed help and nobody was there? Do you know what that feels like? Most of us do. Well, that person's going through that. Can't you sympathize? Now that you're up again, are you going to be so haughty that your nose is up to the sky like, oh, you don't know what that feels like? You know what it feels like for people to shun you and think that they're better than you? We've all gotten a taste of that. So that's how they feel. They feel like they can't catch a break. Feel like life is, it's just, the sun is scorching them while they're walking and sweating. They're weary and tired. God knows when they had their last meal. And they're praying to God. Really, a lot of them, all they have is God. All they have is faith. And they're just saying, God, give me a break. Send somebody to help me. You are that person, right? And so the whole argument of, oh, they'll use it to drink or drug, that's not your problem. That should not be in question whether you give or don't give. There's always the possibility of you grabbing them food, okay? You think they're gonna use it for drugs and alcohol? Go ahead and buy them food and then give it to them, right? I've done that many times, and then once upon a time I was doing that. Like, I would always go and get them the food and all that, and I just overcame my thought process. I looked at it and said, hey, listen, man, whatever you do with this money, that's on you. But in my conscience, I'm giving you this money to have compassion for you. And I wish and I hope you use it for some good things. Okay? To build yourself, to help yourself. But if you don't, that's not on me, that's on you. But I know that I'm doing the right thing before God, before the angels that are watching. The Bible says that when we do good deeds, we entertain angels. I feel like I've entertained some angels along the way. Builders and destroyers. There's those. I used to hang out with a buddy before I was a Christian. See, now I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed of this, but something about being an unbeliever in the world, that this is considered almost cool or something like that. But he calls a homeless guy over. This is when I was not a Christian, a long time ago. Buddy that I used to hang around with calls a homeless guy over. Homeless guy thinks he's gonna get some money or change or something like that, and then he asks him some money. He asks him some questions like, "What are you doing out here?" Like interrogating him, kind of stuff. Like not being nice. And then he tells my buddy at the time, tells him, "Get a job." Starts laughing at him and peels out and right in front of him. And then he looks at me and he starts to chuckle. Like it was funny, like what he did to him was funny. And I'm going along with it because I, at that point, was a follower. I was just like along for the ride. Like, okay, I don't wanna be the odd one out. If it's funny to you, it's funny to me, right? But on the inside, I felt, man, that's wrong, dude. I like that. He's having a hard time as it is. You don't have to make it worse. Building and destroying. Builders and destroyers. You see them all over the place. You see the people that pick up litter. You see the people that do the litter. They throw the litter on the floor, the streets. So the people that are in traffic on the stoplight, they throw a McDonald's bag out the window. And then there's the other people that pick them up. The people that have their eyes open to say the person is smoking a cigarette in the gas station. You know how dumb that is? There's people that do that. They're not, like, where their brain is at, I don't even know. But there's people that do that. And I'm there like pumping gas, and I looked to my side. I said, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You crazy? Put that thing out." The cool ambience has them so blinded. Like, look at me, I'm smoking, I'm cool. And the more danger, because the cool ambience works like this, like the demonic realm, the more dangerous it is, the cooler I am. That's why they're always speeding. The closer they are to killing themselves in terms of a wreck or this or that, the cooler they are. They escape with their life. It's like, yeah, man, look how cool I am. Now, it's not so much that they say I'm so cool. It's like, it's an underlined understanding. Everybody's like, man, you're so cool. But it's never spoken about, right? It's demonic, 100%. It takes a lot of people to hell and death. But yeah, I just want to leave you with the question: are you a builder, or are you a destroyer? Are you putting other people's before yourself in terms of like their needs, and are you thinking about like their situation before you just shove yourself in the front of the line and see how you can get yours? Or are you courteous? Are you respectful? Are your manners in place? Are you looking around for if there's a female or an old lady so that they can skip you in line? Or maybe they just have 2 or 3 items and you have 100 items. And you're like, man, go in front of me. I'm gonna be a while. Come on. Are you a builder? You know, all of that applies. It all applies to character. It applies to wanting to make the world a better place, or somebody's life just a little bit more simple. You start to accumulate, you know, a lifestyle, accumulation of character, of deeds, you know, everywhere you go. You don't even think about it. You don't try very hard. It's just you see some people in need and you're like, oh man, you know, you look thirsty. Let me get you something to drink. Here you go. And you go on about your day. Their life is a little easier now because you did that. Something to think about, guys.